Welcome back, everyone. Oh, you've heard me say before, but one of the things that really I admire about people in our community is that there's so many organizations out there that lend a helping hand to help people and, really instill the positive side of life. And joining me today is a parishioner from the United Methodist Church in Queensbury, somebody who's been here before, Jim Dexter. Welcome, Jim.
Well, thank you, Jesse. It's a pleasure to be here. We really appreciate you taking the time to have us in.
Oh, you're welcome. And by the way, his official title for this interview is Turkey Dinner Coordinator.
That's correct.
And I want to let Jim's kids know that Turkey Man is here today. So
that's what they call me this time of year.
I bet they do. United Methodist Church, Aviation Road, right?
Yes, we're right on off exit 19, right next to the mobile station.
And for the better part of a number of decades, really, in the fall, you do this fall harvest dinner.
Every fall, right around, usually it's the first November of November, first Saturday of November. It just depends on exactly where Halloween falls, but it's either the first or second Saturday of November every year.
And this is real tradition now, and many people know about it. We're going to remind you to go, and we're also, in case you don't know about it, make you go.
Yeah, that's right.
So why do you put on this dinner?
Well, there's a few reasons. The first is it's an opportunity for us to serve our community. Community service is part of what we try to do. Certainly, it's an outreach opportunity for us. We always, we're trying to figure out ways for folks to have an opportunity to come into our church. And last, it is a fundraiser for us to raise some funds, not only for ourselves and the missions we do in our church and our community, but also we give 10% of our proceeds every year to a local charity. And this year, it's the Salvation Army.
Oh, right. I want to cycle back on this because a lot of the people that I interview here on Look Today are involved in the community. I mentioned that, Kim Cook, we talk a lot to her about open door mission and whatever. United Methodist is a pretty active congregation, right?
Yes.
And with a number of things that you do inside the community. Can you highlight a couple of those?
Sure. We'll talk about a few. The first is anytime there is a crisis in our community, our church, like many churches, we try to rally the troops and try to do whatever we can to help out people in need. But then we have a couple standing ones as well. So, for example, we have a food pantry in our church that's opened up every week. And there's a lot of people in need in all of our communities, including Queensbury, who need some extra help, particularly sometimes maybe towards the end of the month or other times when their money they just don't have the money to buy food.
Out of money.
And so we have a wonderful group of people who really donate their time and effort, and we have connections with the local food pantries. And we run a food pantry right out of our church, so people can come right to our church in need, no questions asked. There are some rules as far as how many times you can come, like every food pantry. But that's one opportunity we have. The second is we have a Second Life clothing ministry. So people donate clothing in our church, and we collect that clothing, we catalog it and put it on racks. And people can come on Saturday to our church in the morning, any Saturday, and they have an opportunity to buy a clothing item for $1 or $2. That's how much they cost. And there's a lot of people who need access to good clothing, and so we provide that as well. And then also, just another example of what we do, our youth are very active in our church, and we have a wonderful group of youth ministers, and Mike and Mary Ellen Burns and our pastor. And they every year take our kids on a mission trip. And so, for example, last year they went to inner city Philadelphia. The year before, they'd gone up to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, and prior to that, they'd gone to over in Rutland, Vermont, and this year they're going to Redbird, Kentucky. So that's a part of our work too, is not just to help locally, but bring our local impact to other parts of the country.
Well, you know what? That, of course, I think about the youth group because, I grew up in a time when you in college and you might join the Peace Corps, and not only are you helping other people, but you're building a lot of character inside the youth, inside the congregation itself, because they're getting to witness things that they ordinarily wouldn't witness for the purpose of helping somebody.
Right.
It isn't personal greed or the latest sneakers or something, if you know what I mean.
I think it makes a big impact. My older daughter has been going, and I think it makes a big impact when they see that not everyone maybe always has the same advantages we have. And I think the youth really like an opportunity to give back and to be helpful to other people. I think that's underestimated. And our kids at our church, like like many kids, really truly care about our community and want that opportunity. So I can't take any credit for it, but it's a wonderful part of our church.
Yes, no, I understand. The dinner itself, and we're talking about a harvest dinner here. We're talking about turkey, all the dressings, all this stuff, right?
Yes. So we have turkey. We cook the turkeys. We make stuffing. We have homemade mashed potatoes, and we have kind of a local favorite. It's a homemade carrot salad has canned tomatoes and onions and green peppers, and it's a big hit. I guess it's one of those things. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you maybe not. And then we have homemade pies, rolls, and cranberry sauce. So no one leaves hungry. That's for sure.
No, I bet you don't. And it's also takeout if you want. I think it's like $11 or something like that.
Yes.
And the money is going to really help the United Methodist Church and the programs that Jim and I have been talking about, as well as a portion of the proceeds goes directly this year to Salvation Army, you said, right?
Every year we pick a different charity.
Every year you pick a different charity. Really, what a wonderful way to just really foster that sense of giving that the community seems to have naturally, but always needs our help to get in there and just take it over the top. So outside of the fact that Jim's kids are pretty lucky, they got Turkey Man as their father, I think we're all lucky that you're the turkey dinner coordinator.
They get roped in, that's for sure.
Well, Jim, thanks very much for coming in and telling
Yes.
us about this. And I'll see you.
Yes, thanks so much.
You're quite welcome. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.